What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is Jessica Jones, Season 3, Episode 1, aka The Perfect Burger. So we're back to this show. If you saw any of my Season 2 reviews, you'll know that I did not enjoy Season 2 at all, which is disappointing because I really enjoyed Season 1, but a lot of that came down to Kilgrave was a great villain. Once they took Kilgrave out of the equation, it's like they didn't know what to do from there. They didn't know what to do next, and so we'll just have Jessica Jones go through some family problems. Oh no! There's a lot of dumb people, very unlikable people doing dumb and unlikable things. So far for season 3 though, so not good. Yeah, just no. I don't know. It just feels very forced, I guess, so far. I guess I'll tackle it piece by piece. So first of all, the worst of the worst stuff is still Jerry Hogarth. Dealing with her ALS, she asks Jessica to kill her, and then I guess freaks out and decides, never mind. I don't still really get that whole scene between her and Jessica. Like, she's like, here, these pills. And then Jessica's like, what, you want me to kill you? How many do you think it's going to take? And just starts, threatening her, basically. Just like, I don't know what's going on here. Like, Jerry's a terrible person for asking this, but now Jessica's, instead of just saying no and turning away, she's like, oh, I'm going to scare you into saying no, never mind, I don't want you to do this. I don't know, it's weird. And then we see Jerry at some sort of event. This one woman's playing the violin, and apparently she and Jerry have a thing, even though this woman's married. Okay. Because as we know, there are just so many people who are just like, I really want to cheat on my spouse with a person of the same sex. Again, this show has always been kind of very dark and kind of nasty feeling. Like, there's just this sense of everybody's got a dark side, that nobody is clean, nobody's nice, everybody's got something about them. But it just gets to a point, and I really felt this in Season 2. Now beginning Season 3, I was really hoping that maybe this wouldn't happen, but here we are. Already, I'm just seeing so many people that are just like, nope, everybody's just got to be the worst possible person. Everybody's got to be wanting to have an affair, or wanting to do something awful, or wanting to rob, or wanting to just... Everybody's a piece of shit. That's all you need to know about the world. Live in it, accept it. That's what Jessica Jones wants you to know. And I don't know. There's something really off-putting about this show because of that. It reminds me really of the guy that Trish was about to get engaged to in Season 2, because they tried to make it seem like maybe there was some dark secret he was hiding, when in reality he was just planning the surprise engagement party for her. And so it was kind of nice to be like, oh, so this guy is just a nice guy. Like, they made it seem like he was just another one of the group of people that's just awful and skeletons in the closet, but he wasn't. He was truly a good guy. So, of course, the show wrote him off real quickly. Trish turned him down, and then they just got him out of there because they're like, no. We can't have any nice people. We can't have any people that are good and decent. Everybody's got to be a piece of shit. So, yeah, I don't even know why Jerry's still on the show. Again, it's like they just have Carrie-Anne Moss, and she wants to be on the show, and they're like, well, it's Carrie-Anne Moss. Let's just give her a part. Do we have a good part? Not really. We'll figure something out. Just, I don't know, videotape her just doing random stuff, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, as far as Trish is concerned, though, we do see, we saw her get her powers near the end of last season, and she's apparently breaking into people's homes and exposing them, I guess. I don't know. This whole thing, Jessica tracks her down because of her mom, who's still the worst. Worse than Jerry? I gotta think about that for a second. Because Jerry and Dorothy are both terrible, awful, horrible people. I'm trying to decide who's worse, though. Anyways. But yeah, I mean, her mom's just so awful. She asked Jessica to find her. Honestly, the best moments in the show did come from Dorothy's scenes, though, because at least they made me laugh. The first one that made me laugh was whenever Jessica opens the door and her mom's right, or Dorothy's right there. And just the timing was perfect, because before she even fully revealed it was Dorothy, the door was already closing. I found that hilarious. And then they did another good timing thing later on whenever they're in Trish's, I guess, new apartment right now. And she's going on and on and on. She won't shut up. Jessica's asked her to shut up several times. And so then she just starts like bashing Jessica while praising Trish. And Jessica just gives her this look. And then they cut to Jessica's pushing her out of the room and closing the door. I'm like, that's another funny scene. The moments with her where Jessica is just pissed off and just, I'm done. Those moments were funny. But aside from that, Dorothy's just still a piece of shit. And I don't like her. But yeah, so apparently Trish is doing this burglary thing. She's breaking in, finding, I guess, evidence that ties people to awful things that they did. I don't really get it. It's kind of like a weird, twisted version of Robin Hood, where instead of stealing from the rich and giving to the poor, she's stealing from awful people and giving it to the police, maybe? I don't know. The thing is, the way the law works, I don't think that would work. I don't think if she stole that statue and like brought it into the police and it ties him to an assault, I don't think that's how the law works. I don't think they would go, oh, well, we completely legally obtained this evidence, guys. It wasn't from a burglary. So I really don't understand what her plan was and what she's really doing at the moment. But she's still just talking like she said it in the episode, and so did Jessica. She's the moral compass. She knows good from bad, right from wrong. And she doesn't. She did this a lot last season, where all of a sudden she just looked down on Jessica because of what she was doing. And yeah, Jessica's mom wasn't exactly the greatest either, but what she did at the end was still murder, And I don't know, the fact that she still feels like she's in the right in all of this kind of makes her a terrible person. And also, the fact that they all of a sudden wrote this "I'm jealous of Jessica's powers" thing in season 2 was just a complete odd change of character. And then Malcolm, I don't know. He's now working for Jerry, and we see him help this one guy out because he got involved in a like car crash with this famous baseball player who apparently this has happened to him before. The guy was talking about suing, and Malcolm's like, no, because we represent him and you wouldn't win anything, so here, take his car. That'll be the settlement. You get to have this really nice car, and he just dropped everything. And so I guess because of that, he's starting to feel like, oh, well, maybe this isn't what I want to do. He's starting to feel dirty about what he's doing. But at the same time, you do know who you're getting into bed with, right? This is Jerry Hogarth we're talking about. She is one of the most despicable lawyers around, and you really are shocked that all of a sudden you have to be representing awful people. Hello? So I don't know what he was expecting when he got into the law business, but he, I guess, got fed up with it and then crashed into the guy to ruin his baseball career. So, yeah, that's Malcolm's story right now. Don't really get it. And then as far as Jessica's concerned, she's trying to do the whole I don't want to be a hero thing, but she's still helping people. She helped, I think he's a police commissioner. I can't remember what the guy's title is, but he apparently asked her to look into this thing that we see her doing at the beginning. She's got this secretary that's trying to give her these jobs to look into. The kid from last season is like there trying to help her decide what to do. I don't really know what happened with that guy. I hate to say it, but I actually forgot what happened with the Hispanic guy, that they were kind of fighting at first, but then all of a sudden they were an item, and then I don't know what happened after that. I do remember liking him at first because she wanted to just go straight to sex, and he was like, whoa. This is not normal. We just sort of met, and now all of a sudden we're having sex. Like, that's not normal. And I was like, thank you. Somebody speaks the truth. And then, of course, like, they slept together 2 days later or something like that. I don't know. But I don't remember what happened with them, but she meets this guy at the bar, some random guy. Seems like he might be powered as well, because he really, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, is just like, $10, that guy cuts his hand open on a glass. It was very random, and it was very, I guess, something that somebody who could see into the future maybe would be able to tell. That's kind of the sense that I got, because he just sort of whipped it out of nowhere, like, hey, why don't we bet on this? I'm just like, but why? So I don't know if that's what they're implying, but that's kind of the implication I got. If not, then he's just some random guy that Jessica met at the bar, and then she was going to have sex with him, and Again, I don't know if she's not seeing the Hispanic guy anymore, but yeah, apparently they were about to do stuff, and then all of a sudden some random guy comes in, stabs her, and that's how the episode ends. So I don't know. I'm just sort of watching this because I wanted to see how it ended. I wanted to say I've officially seen all the seasons of all the Netflix Marvel shows. I'm super stoked though about Daredevil coming back, because that's exciting. And that's, yeah, that's something to look forward to. If they brought Jessica Jones back, I would hope they would bring her back with a better writing team, because it feels like the writing team sort of fell off after season 1. They either replaced them or they just had no more ideas after Kilgrave, because they're like, we can't top that, so we're just going to write random stuff and see if anybody likes it. At the moment, just not feeling it, unfortunately. But anyways, that's it for this first episode. On to the second one. See you there in a sec. And now episode 2, aka You're Welcome. You know what I love? I love it whenever, you end the first episode with, ooh, Jessica got stabbed. Oh, who could it be? Oh, is she going to survive? And you just go right into the second episode and you're just like, okay, so now let's talk about Trish. Because don't you want to spend a whole episode with Trish? Oh my god. Okay, so obviously couldn't stand this episode any less if I wanted to. Everything in it just horrible. Trish is a horrible person. Her mom's a horrible person. Malcolm showed what a horrible person he can be. Jerry also shown she's a horrible person. Everybody's just horrible people. Trish is all like, oh, I'm doing this for good. First of all, let's talk about her powers, right? Because they showed at the end of last season, ooh, guys, she's got powers. Not really. It's more like she's got steroids, basically. Like, if she trains, then she becomes a little bit more powerful than your average human. But only a little bit. A little bit. So, did it work then? Did she really get powers? Or did it just give her a little juice so that way once she trains, then she's got some power. She's got some strength. She can do backflips off of walls. And that's pretty much it. Like when she caught her phone on her foot and tossed it back up into her hand, I thought that meant, okay, she's got powers now. But then they showed, no, she had to work to get the rest of the powers. Then she's not really superpowered, is she? She's just an average human who, when she trained, she got stronger. And maybe she got stronger quicker than normal. It's still not a superpowered person. So already her powers are lame. Then there's just so many moments in this of stupidity. First one that comes to mind. She's working out. This girl comes over, sits down next to her. Looks like she's about to start working out. Wait a minute, are you Trish Walker? Yeah, I'm just here working out though. So you are Trish though. I guess. I'm here training though. But are you training as Trish? Just get to the freaking point already. So after the girl asks her several times if she's Trish Walker, and then she finally just says, yes, I'm Trish Walker. What do you want? Oh, okay. Psh. You've been served. Who in the world delivers subpoena papers like this? Or not subpoena. Whatever. Who? I'm sorry. Are you a lawyer? Are you a private eye? Or are you just some random woman that the guy that she kicked the crap out of whenever he was stealing the guy's phone? Are you just some random woman that he's like, hey, I want you to sneak into her place where she works out, and I want you to be real secretive about it. And I want you to ask several times to make sure it's Trish Walker. Because who knows? It could be somebody that looks like her that isn't actually her. So verify with her to the point of annoyance that it is Trish Walker. And then act like you're kind of a fan before you stand up and then serve her papers. Because I'm sure it'll be hilarious. So that scene was stupid beyond all reason. Then you get to her stupid show that she's doing. Which, I mean, there's a lot of stupid stuff all around. I'm just kind of hitting the ones that come to mind as they come to mind. So she's on this random talk show that we saw in the first episode. She's like, I guess, selling people different sweaters and outfits and stuff. It's one of those type of shows, I think. Oh my gosh. Getting angry and drinking a soda at the same time does not work well, because then you got to burp in the middle of it. It just doesn't really flow very well. But yeah, she's in the middle of this show, and then this woman calls in, and she's like, yeah, it's so awesome. I'm actually getting one for my mom and my sister. Oh, but you deserve one too. I just got out of a divorce. Okay, where's this going? Why are we spending time on this show? Her mom's like, don't worry, she's got it. Then she convinces the divorced woman to go buy one for herself. She convinces the divorced woman to spend money on whatever she's promoting, like a good saleswoman does. Because don't you know, we all love salespeople. Salespeople are just the best. I mean, they look to sell to you even when you're recently divorced. They'll use that as a bargaining chip to try to make you feel better about yourself by buying whatever they're selling you. And we're supposed to feel good about Trish after all of this. Her mom's like, isn't she just the greatest? Isn't she just the best? Oh. So then her and her mom are having this whole talk. And then that's when it hits me, because she's looking into this guy who apparently hired some thugs to beat up his sister so that way he can get this statue. That's when it hits me. This is all just a prequel to what happened in the first episode, at the end of the first episode, even though they told us what it was all about. They told us that she was there trying to show that the guy had the statue because it would implicate him in an assault. We already knew this! Why are we spending all this time dealing with this when you already showed it to us in the first episode? You could have thrown a random line where it's like, yeah, he assaulted his sister and I had to show this. You already practically told us most of this story. Now we're just seeing it all from Trish's point of view, which I did not want to do, because I don't like Trish as a character. She's shallow, she's pathetic, she's childish. Everything that you would not want in your main character, that's what she is. And she was the main character of this episode. She was our protagonist. I put quotes because she's not acting like a protagonist. She's acting like a child in an adult's body. And it's pathetic. She has this trainer, and they're fighting, and you can tell like she's getting into it. And all of a sudden, like, he gets blood on his shirt. She's like, take off your shirt. Take off your shirt. And then he takes it off, they start making out, and all of a sudden they're having sex. I'm like, okay, yeah, because there was totally some connection there, right, that we saw. We had like, a few lines earlier in the episode where he's like, what, you taking steroids? That showed clearly that there was some sort of sexual attraction there. I'm not even going to say romantic, because there's no romance in this show. It's all sexual attraction. That's all that exists. And honestly, it does sort of make me wonder, because it seems like Jessica's only interested in like sexual relationships. She's not really interested. We do see Oscar. They do bring him up. I'm wondering if whatever is in that serum, if it just makes them like horny as hell. And so they only want sex, and that's all they want in a relationship, because both Jessica and Trish are both acting like this. And Trish wasn't acting like this before she got this injected. She had that little moment with Malcolm last season, but that was when she was taking the whatever drugs that were making her crazy and super powerful. And I think that was also created by, is it IGH? Is that the name of the company that created them? I honestly don't remember now, because I care so little. But why is it that one of the side effects of these drugs and these superpowers seems to be, I don't want a real relationship, I just want to have sex? Because it makes them look very shallow. You know, normal people do not want to just go out and be like, I'm just going to have sex with random people. That's not normal. It's funny on a sitcom because, yeah, haha, sex is funny and we make jokes about it. But it's not normal. And this is supposed to somewhat reflect normal life in a way. Obviously, there's superpowered people in it, so it's not totally going to be realistic. But they're treating it like it's supposed to be realistic. And this is okay to just, yeah, if you just want to go out and find a random person at a bar and have sex with them, sure, go do it. And then also in the same episode, we'll show why it's not a good idea, because we'll have this one guy slip a girl something in his drink, or in her drink and then try to rape her. Your messages are so clear. Ugh. So yeah, I mean, all of it, it builds to the moment where she finds the guy in his apartment. It builds to what we saw at the end of the last episode, when Jessica shows up. And there's nothing learned in this. All we learned, we filled in the gaps as to what Trish did after she figured out about her powers until now. And none of it was really that important. You could have literally spelled it out in a sentence. Trish trained to get her powers, and then she started tracking down bad guys. That's basically all it was. And I really hope that this guy isn't going to be the main focus for this season, because it certainly seems like now that the guy that stabbed Jessica might be related to this other guy, since he knew who Jessica was when he saw her in the apartment. Honestly, it didn't even click that might be what happened. But then again, it could also be this random guy that Jessica found in the bar. Like, somehow he's connected. I don't know. I hope they have a good story, because so far I'm just... I'm already so done with all of it, because it's all just so despicable. The people are not likable. I want to finish the show just to see if it has any good redeeming elements, and so far it's just not giving me anything. I'm just so frustrated. And Trish and her mom and Jessica are all acting like idiots, and Malcolm's acting like an idiot, and Jerry's the worst. Okay, on to episode 3. See you there in a sec. And now episode 3, I have no spleen. Oh God. Oh no, she has no spleen. Oh boy. This show is just, it's not for me. It really isn't for me. I don't know who it's for. I don't know what sick, dark, twisted people want to watch a show where just everybody's despicable. But it's not for me. Again, I'm really I want to finish it out because it's the last Marvel Netflix show that I haven't seen all the way through. I just want to see how it ends. If they bring Jessica Jones into the MCU, maybe she'll be written better. Maybe she won't be written as a terrible human being. And I'd like to see how Netflix handled it. But for now, yeah, that's what it is. So, first of all, let's talk about our good old friend Jerry Hogarth, because it's still the worst. She comes over trying to be all like, buddy on Jessica, like, oh yeah, like I see you're taking a lot of this stuff, like trying to be friendly, because Jessica's just gone through a traumatic injury, and like I said, she has no spleen now. And two moments that really got me in that scene. First of all, Jessica's line to her, where she's like, us invalids have to stick together. I think invalid was the word she used. And it's almost like Kristen Ritter just broke character for a second and just apologized for being an asshole, because just the way she said it, I almost imagine her thinking, I'm sorry, the writers wrote me as an asshole. Nobody would normally say something like this to somebody who has ALS and is dying of ALS. But I've been written as an asshole, so I'm sorry, I'm an asshole. That's exactly what it seemed like to me. It just seemed like she just said, pause, I need to put this line in here so people do not hate me. This show is about my character. People are going to hate me if I say this line with no apology. So that was kind of funny to me. And then the other kind of funny line in it is Jerry's talking about how she's found something to live for now, because she was basically like, hey, just kill me if things get too rough. And what's funny to me about that line is yeah, you found something to live for. You're trying to wreck the marriage of a college crush that you have and her husband that she loves, that she has a family with. You're trying to ruin that marriage so you can have her for yourself. That's what gives you joy in life, is trying to ruin a marriage. Our good guys, ladies and gentlemen, the people we're supposed to be rooting for, one that's just bashing somebody who has ALS constantly, and another one that's found joy out of trying to ruin a marriage. And what's funny is, they tried to pull one over on us, right? They tried to be like, ooh, we're clever with our writing. Because Jerry has Malcolm start looking into the husband so he can get some dirt, so she can get some dirt on him. That way she can, like I said, split them up and have, what's her name? I don't even remember her name right now. I don't know if I care, to be perfectly honest. But she wants her all to herself. That's basically what it is. What's funny is the writer's like, oh, we're going to be clever about it, because Malcolm finds a video, whenever he taps the guy's computer at the school, he finds a video of the guy sleeping with one of the undergrads, which already is kind of sick and twisted, because of course, he couldn't be a normal guy either. He also had to be, twisted and nasty and, oh, what a terrible person, because everybody on the show is. What's funny though is after he finds that video and it's just like, oh, okay, so now Jerry has something to give to her so that way she can be like, I'm done with you. They get done after sleeping together and this girl's like, oh yeah, no, we have an open marriage, so he's probably banging some undergrad chick right now and I get to have sex with you. And it's almost like the writers are like, aha, see, they get to have each other. But what's funny is it actually makes Jerry even worse, and these people even worse. Because one, people who have open relationships, I'm sorry, they're not right. There's some sort of issue up here where you feel like you're not good enough, or you feel like, let's have an open because I just feel like I'm not good enough for you. So if you want to go to other people, or you're trying to justify cheating on them, so you're like, let's just have an open relationship so I can see other people as well. There's something wrong with that mentality. So you've made them a terrible couple now. You've made them a terrible married couple. But now Jerry is in a position where she could just have sex with her. But that's not good enough. So she's literally going to break up this marriage that is open for her. She doesn't have to break them up to have sex with her and to see her in a sexual way. But she's going to anyway. So she's a terrible person. Again, for the 100th time. And we're supposed to be rooting for her? But this is the thing, they write these characters, they write this story in a way where we're supposed to be rooting for Jessica, Trish, and Jerry, and Malcolm in some ways. Those are our four main characters on the show that we're supposed to be rooting for. I've never once looked at Jerry Hogarth and thought, yeah, I support what she's doing. Every season she's done something absolutely terrible. Jessica, every season she's acted like an asshole. Malcolm, first season was fine. Second season went a little off the rails. And now third season, he's just an asshole. Trish, first season was fine. Second season, she turned into a jealous bitch. And then third season, she's like this high and mighty, like, oh, I'm so much better than you. I am so much better than you, Jessica, because I'm a hero and you've never been a hero. You're not a hero. You're not a superhero. You're literally just slightly physically better than the average human. And you're still working outside of the law, so you're a vigilante, so you don't have the moral high ground, and yeah, you're a better person, except for the fact that you're shallow, you're jealous, you're constantly acting like a child, you're lashing out at everybody that wants to tell you that you're wrong. There's so much wrong with all of the characters in the show. Why are we supposed to support any of them? It's like Fear the Walking Dead. Right? I only watched like the first 3 seasons of that, but it's a show where we should want the main characters to survive because it's a survival show. That's what The Walking Dead was, and that's what Fear the Walking Dead was supposed to be. However, all of the characters on Fear the Walking Dead were terrible people, so I didn't want to see them survive. So what's the point of the show? In Walking Dead, you had characters that were good people, were nice people for the most part. Sure, you had your bad apples, but you had a group of people that most of them you wanted to see make it out. And there were some that when they didn't make it, when they died, it was sad. And Fear the Walking Dead came along and said, what if we did that, but you didn't want to see any of them survive? So if any of them die, you really don't feel a thing. Which is dumb. And now we have this superhero show where the main character keeps claiming that she's not a hero, but yet she wants to be a hero, and she keeps talking like she's a hero, but she doesn't ever act like she's a hero. The one line that really cracked me up in this is the one where she's like, heroes aren't supposed to be invincible. Like, no, that's not what a hero is. That may be what a hero used to be, like back in the 80s when they were first doing superhero like TV shows and stuff. You didn't want to see the superhero get hurt. You wanted to see him be invincible, and that was it. Nowadays, heroes are much more grounded in reality. They can get hurt because it's the ability to get hurt but keep going that makes them a hero. Like, that's what makes them a hero. So it's not being invincible. It's the ability to keep going and say, no, I'm going to rise above this. Nobody on the show rises above what they're going through. They sink below it. They sink to the bottom tier and they say, I'm just going to stick here. I'm gonna go below you. You think you're bad? I'm beneath you. This isn't a superhero show. They claim to be, but that's not what this is. This is very much just I don't even know what to call it. It's just a bunch of people acting like idiots and assholes and terrible people, and for some reason we're supposed to care about them. That's what this show is right now. So, as far as Jessica's concerned in this one, she has to deal with this goofy doctor that doesn't fit the tone of the show at all. He's just supposed to be like, oh, what if we had like a Dora the Explorer doctor that's coming in here and making all these funny jokes? I'm going to explain it to you. See, the thing is, the problem with the doctor is that they couldn't go all the way. This show is so dark and so nasty. If they had just a goofy ass doctor that literally just acted like he was on a kid's show, that might be a little funny. But he didn't really go all the way. He was just slightly abnormal, made a couple of dad jokes relating to the spleen, and that was it. So it wasn't even really fully funny. It was just like, this is awkward. This is like a guy trying to do stand-up comedy in a show where everybody's terrible, and it's not working, and it didn't make me laugh at all. It should have, because whenever you have a character like that on a show like this, normally it is funny, because the characters just do not mesh at all, but they didn't go all the way. They just kind of made him half dorky and half awkward, and then half like he had to be serious for a moment when she started to pass out. But yeah, so she goes through all this, she doesn't listen to the doctors at all, because of course she doesn't, because she's an asshole. Then she falls over again, just randomly while she's out, and Trish steals her stuff. They both are going through trying to track down this guy. Jessica manages to do it and then finds out, oh, that's not the guy that stabbed her, and not one of his thugs didn't stab her. And then that's when she realizes, oh, maybe it has to do with this random guy that I invited up from the bar. Weird, right? I mean, I thought inviting random guys up from bars is a good thing. They always portray it like it's so much fun to just say, hey, want to go have sex up in my place? But yeah, so apparently whoever this guy was the one that was supposed to be stabbed instead of Jessica by the masked person. So I guess we're going to find out more about him. I don't know if it's going to be interesting or not. But man, one thing I will say that I do appreciate about shows like this, because I have a couple shows that are like this, and this is something that I really do have to appreciate about it. Having a review channel like this, which I don't get that many views anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but it's nice to have an outlet to just get some of the rage that I have pent up at the world and just sort of throw it onto this show, because yeah, this show does a good job of letting me release that, because they do a lot of stupid stuff and it lets me go, oh, I get to yell at this crappy show for being crappy. So something that I will say, thank you, Jessica Jones, for giving me an outlet to release my rage onto, for being that bad that I can go, I'm going to rip this show apart and I'm going to yell about it, I'm going to get pissed about it, and that's going to help release a little bit of this inner turmoil. So thank you for that. But yeah, aside from that, the show's awful. Nothing really redeeming about it at the moment. The mystery of who this guy is, it's a mystery, but it's not a mystery that I'm particularly hooked on yet. So hopefully they have something in mind of what to do with him, and hopefully it's interesting. But yeah, at the moment, I'm just not really interested. I'm just really watching, one, to see how it ends, and two, to be able to do these reviews and get some of the rage out. So anyways, with all that being said, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on these 3 episodes? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Jessica Jones reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.